What's up, America? Just wanted to give you my instant review on my 2019 Can-Am 6x6 Max. It's the 1000 power steering, beautiful. It's a 2-up. As of right now, I believe I have about 2 miles on the machine. It's kind of cool. It shows the guy's name right there as it pops up. I got 2 hours and 32 minutes on it. Brand spanking new. When I got the machine, I had them do a radiator relocation kit. Up here in Alaska, we do a lot of riding the swamps and whatnot. And after owning some Polarises, trying to keep a radiator clean in Alaska is pretty difficult to do. Just a little info. I've owned a 2002 Honda Foreman 450S. I've had a 2007 Suzuki King Quad 700. Had a 2004 Polaris Sportsman 500 6x6. Currently also have a 2014 Polaris Ranger 6x6. I've had an Arctic Cat 500 TBX 2005. Also had a 2008 Polaris Razor 800 S model. So I've been around the ATV game for a little while. 90% of my riding has been moose hunting, caribou hunting, bear hunting. Not a huge Indiana, Kentucky swamp buggy machine builder. But do some, mudding certainly. Anyway, the purpose of the radiator, like I said, keep it out of the muskeg here in AK. One thing about the Can-Am I noticed is that between this shield here on the inside on both sides, the little fan shroud here, and the very limited front space on the grill here to clean the radiator is not easy to do on a Can-Am or on this model of Can-Am. That's why I opted to do the radiator relocation kit. Also went with the UHMW or whatever the hell it is, full body skid plate. The little I've used it on the snowbanks, it works exceptionally well. As far as the review, it goes together very, very well. I love how it 45s up kind of high. It doesn't just start flat down here. It actually, comes up high. One thing I did notice is that it does not have a hole for the front differential. So in order to change the fluid in the front differential, I'm either going to have to drill a hole into the skid plate or remove the front half of the skid plate. A bit of an oversight on the manufacturer's part, in my opinion, but one that can be easily resolved. Excuse me, a few beers deep. My 2014 Polaris Ranger has a UHMW skid plate as well. And in the install process on that, we took self-tapping screws and drilled self-tapping screws directly into the frame, whereas the Can-Am model here, if you look at it, there are brackets that go up and over the frame and bolts that bolt to the brackets. And then, for example, right here, where you got the two skid plates where they come together, there is a metal bracket here that bolts the two plates together, giving it a much better, I don't know, secure point to the machine. Whereas, like I said, the Can-Am is self-tapped screws right into the frame. Kind of a piece of shit design, in my opinion. Stock tires on the Can-Am, very pleased with. Certainly will be upgrading them to a larger, more aggressive tire. I'm looking at like a 27, maybe a 28-inch ITP 2. They have a new Mud Light 2 out that looks pretty good. Like to go with some beadlock wheels, but you know, it's all money. As far as the radiator relocation kit in the front, like I said, this is nothing more than a hunting machine. This is what I do. They don't make any aftermarket racks or anything that I can find for the Can-Am with the radiator relocation kit. Kind of displeased with that. However, I got some ammo cans that I'm going to be installing here. They're out getting powder coated right now. Took out the stock bolts. Just gonna put the ammo cans down, bolt them back down. Having powder coated the same color as the rad relocate. Another thing, this machine compared to the 2013 Polaris Sportsman 800 that I've ridden several times and fairly familiar with. This machine here seems to be significantly more sound than the Polaris brand. Like I said, I only have 2 miles on it, but the 2 miles or so that I've put on it, everything seems super tight. No rattles, no clinky noises. Just seems to be a much better built machine, in my personal opinion, than the Polaris. As far as a two-person machine, my wife, she's about $110, $120, super small. Throw her on the back. Don't even know she's back there. With that being said, my dad at 70 years old, 220 pounds, 6'6", fits on the back, and I don't even know the man's back there. I definitely wanted the 19 model for that reason. The 18 models where they're just the one up didn't suit my needs. But this is a comfortable ride for a man and his wife, or just two buddies going out and doing some hunting. Super nice. They do make a heated hand grips. I do intend on getting those for the old wifey. Don't quite know how they're going to wire up. I'm assuming there's going to be a second control module similar to this. I don't really know for sure, to be honest with you, but figure that out. One thing that I would like to change about the Can-Am is, sorry about this, but on the back side it has the back door here, and then it has the two little rubber band bullshit things back here. They work and they're okay, but personally, as far as going through the water, once the water gets so high, once you get to this point, everything inside this box is going to get wet, because this is not a sealed portion of the unit. In my personal opinion, it would have been nicer that the whole door per se would have been welded shut, to where a guy could get up to the top of the bed before everything down underneath started getting wet. They make a little tub that slides in and out. It's like $450 for a bullshit rubber little tub. In my opinion, overly expensive for what Can-Am's selling. I did take off all my warning stickers. Unfortunately, I don't think Can-Am can sell them without the warning stickers, but they look a lot better without the warning stickers. The key is a fob. Excuse me. The key is a fob. So you can't just walk up and, you know, hot wire this thing. The key itself is programmed to me, so if someone were to steal this machine, they can't just simply call Can-Am with a VIN number and so on and so forth and order a new key. Don't know the whole process of it yet. I gotta kind of figure a portion of that out. The dealer sold me the machine and had both keys programmed to the performance keys, so I don't got the 50% key. Didn't need it, don't want it. At first I was not pleased with the handle grips or the deflectors here. Austin Cruiser, he has I don't know, the XMR model, but these are actually quite nice. I'm pretty pleased with that. Austin Cruiser recommends, or he doesn't, I shouldn't say that, he doesn't recommend. On his build, he did a 2-inch handlebar riser. I can see why, because the distance between the shifter and the handlebars here, it's narrow, man. I can see why a guy would want to do that. Another thing I do intend on doing as well. These things are able to have a rear, sorry, 1 second, have a rear winch installed, which is super, super nice. Bolts on right here, goes through the little tube, yada yada. I think it was like $1,200 in total. Personally, I think that's severely steep. For a winch on the rear, when considering you can buy a winch for the front for installed, I think it's like $800, so I don't know where that $400 difference is coming from, but it seems pretty steep to me. Another thing, the Can-Am kind of, I don't want to use the word, has 3 frames, but you kind of have a frame here, and then a 3rd frame on the bottom. Compared to the Polaris, this seems to be, just visually looking at it, and like I said, 2 miles on this machine versus I probably got, I don't know, maybe a couple 200 miles on the Polaris 800. This just seems to be a lot more, just a lot better built. The exhaust on the other side, not a fan of the exhaust as far as the tip coming down. What I foresee is something hitting it here, and if it were to get hit here, I just kind of foresee everything kind of getting jockeyed and jarred. It would be nice if Can-Am maybe came up with one that maybe kind of came more out up high, or maybe bent and came out this way. Anyway, as of right now, that's kind of about the only little review things. One other thing I guess I don't like is I do wish, like, this top or this portion of the bed is flat, that portion is flat, but that is curved and arched. If a guy wants to build a rack on top, like my both Polarises we've built racks and kind of like a big cage for the top of it, and we have a tent and tarp manufacturer here, and they built us a nice cover so we can keep all of our gear dry. And pretty hard to do with this. If you take the sides off, they got the quick links here, obviously, and then underneath they got I think there's 3 or 4 holes, but there's not really any way to secure it down, if that makes any sense. So I do wish that the sideboards were flat, and we're able to build off the top of those a little better. I know with the 17-18 model or 16-17 models, there's a hard top tonneau cover that comes with these things. Kind of nice, but they only sit up maybe 8 inches above this, but there's not quite enough room. If they were, a foot and a half above the top, I think BRP would have done a lot better. The extra box that comes with the Can-Am that goes on the front, not bad, not whatever, but if I were to take this off, I can replace it where the seat is, which is nice, but it's so small. I mean, I could put a pair of gloves and a tampon in there, and that's about all you're going to get in there. It'd be nice to be able to have something that was 7-gallon, 10-gallon, a nice large box that fit where the seat is, so when I don't ride doubles with the wife, that I got a nice big box that fit there. The dealer actually installed the gun boot for me. They don't make a specific gun boot for the 6x6 apparently yet, so they kind of, they made it work. They basically took the 2 holes that were here, put a bracket on it, and installed the Can-Am gun boot. It does fit pretty good there. I'm fairly pleased with it thus far. One thing that I really do like about this machine is if you look at all the bolts for the CVT housing, I haven't taken it off yet, but I assume, and it appears, that I'd be able to take off the whole housing without taking everything else off. Belts do go out in the field. There's times where I've been up here in Alaska 60 miles from the nearest road, and I've burnt belts and have spent literally tens of hours out in the swamps with the mosquitoes and all the bullshit trying to change a belt. And it appears to me as if maybe somebody got smart enough to actually take off this housing and be able to change a belt with maybe just one fucking tool versus tearing off the whole goddamn, it infuriates me. I mean, why would you? Anyway, it looks as if maybe I can do this without tearing the whole machine apart. Something I'm going to try and do here in the garage before I really take it out, is I'm going to try and change it just so I know and got the proper tools to do so. As of now, that's about it. Here in a couple weeks, hopefully when I get some miles on her, get some tires on her, get the wife's heated grips on for her, get my ammo cans and my rifle mount on top, my light bar installed, a few little ding dong things, I suppose. I'll try and maybe create another video. But as of now, with only 2 miles on it, rides like a Cadillac. Seems like she got a lot of power. Pretty impressed.